second race was completely opposite, and the team really responded in that kind of nasty weather, water. The four, for instance, went, I think, 8:12 in the first race and went 9:40 in the second one. Huge. They're just all wind-driven, very difficult conditions, and they performed well. So they still raced aggressively. They still kept attacking, even though the water kind of didn't allow for that. So I was really happy with how they performed, kind of, especially in the afternoon races. Training is everything, and the bay is not always nice. So there's a little bit of, they practice in conditions that are similar to what they raced in. But you never know until you get onto a race course how you're going to react. But the training is important because it just gives you a base of fitness to build off of. So you got to have that, and that's where we're kind of in towards the end of the season now, and it's harder because it's a long season, and so the training part becomes harder just because they've been in it for so long. Part of what I'm seeing is they need to learn how to finish. Again, they're a young team. They started off great, and now they have to learn how to stay motivated in a time where it's harder to be motivated because emotionally you're spent. Even though they've been successful and they have confidence, that always takes a toll. And so they've just got to learn that this is the challenge in front of them and how they're going to respond to that challenge. It's very similar to what you're talking about training. Heavy months of training, they're going to feel physically exhausted. Well, now they're a little more emotionally exhausted. And how do you rise to the challenge that presents you? Expectations, the hopes are good, and it's just a matter of will they continue. They've been really good at taking risks on the race course and pushing what they know and kind of using their emotions to their advantage. Can they just keep doing that, right? Can they not freeze up worrying about who they're going to beat, but instead just step on the gas and see how it goes? I think they've raced enough now to know that I think that you have to keep challenging with that, right? What risk are you going to take today? What are the new things that you're going to be doing? So they don't kind of get relaxed. You can't let them get relaxed. Relaxed is good, but too relaxed, you start to soften up a little bit. So how do you keep yourself sharp? Well, I think the whole point is that they don't lose what they're good at, which is that sense of risk taking, that sense of, okay, let's not think too hard about how fast or how big of an expectation do we have. Instead, it's just how fast can we actually go today? And you just have to you gotta keep watching for those moments where they do that, and that's where you really want to applaud them to make sure that you're showing it, helping them learn that that's what's most important. The GNAC is the big one. This one helps us figure out when they start to feel pressure, right, to perform, because we're going to have some very fast teams there. Will they actually perform? Like, really? And if not, then you try to make some of those assessments and make some of those changes for the next one. But you really want to see what they can do now that their expectations are a little higher. We just need to stay excited, right? Get excited for every moment we get to be on the water, because it ends before we know it. And that's part of, I think, as an old coach, you recognize how fast the season goes, and as a young athlete, you don't recognize that. So I got to help keep in mind that it ends fast. So.